What's happening, guys? Billy Davidson here with Davidson Pressure Washing, Painting, Hammond, Louisiana. Y'all know the story. I wanted to make this video. Actually, this was going to be a live video, but actually Apex wasn't available tonight. We got in late today, and I kind of need Apex to read these little comments that pop up in the live stream because I've had, as many of y'all know, a retina detachment. Well, two of them. They're not fun. I don't recommend them. And it wasn't due to pressure washing or SH or anything like that. I wish it was because I could have prevented it. But anyway, I can't read these little writings. So doing a live session about pressure washing would be almost impossible without someone helping me read the comments. But we're going to be doing that soon. So make sure you like and subscribe. And that brings up another situation. And the reason why I got these sunglasses on, because I'm on a medication to keep my pupils dilated. It's called atropine. If any of y'all had to use it, you know it's kind of harsh. It makes your eyes irritated and dried and red. And I just did not want that to be a distraction because I have some extremely important information I want to share with y'all that could help a lot of you guys out. Now, that being said, let's get on with the video. I see a lot of guys out there, some guys I mentor that I have trained on Billy Davidson VIP, some of our students. They're starting to get into this weird situation to where they've had a lot of success in the first year or two, and now they're on third year, fourth year, and things are slowing down. A lot has to do with the economy, but there's a lot that we can do to kind of be an end run around a bad economy or a slow economy or a poor economy, or no economy, or a great economy. I've been doing pressure washing and parking lot striping as a full-time business and provided for my family very well through all these decades and all types of economies. So, I mean, we experienced COVID, going back 9/11, the financial crisis, going back into the 90s, which is maybe before some of you were even born. The economy was up and down. So, that is a reason why your work could be slow, is because of the economy, but we can't use that as an excuse. So, really want you to hone in on this video. It's not going to be polished. I don't doubt I even do any edits in it unless my dogs start barking. I have a Chihuahua, and she likes to bark a lot. She's getting older. She hobbles around on 3 legs. She carries 1 leg, but I love her to death. And I also have another dog that's a Corgi Pit Bull mix. He's my little fat buddy. If you follow me on Facebook, you'll see a lot of pictures of my little buddy. He's my best friend. And so if someone walks out here around the house or on the street nearby, they go to barking. And if that happens, I might cut it out. I might not. I don't know. So this is going to be as real as it gets. Like I said, we wanted to do a live. Apex wasn't available. So I just said, you know what? The best next thing is to do a video here, right here in my home. There's my living room right there. That's where we sing karaoke. If you follow me on Facebook, you see all my friends gather here. We're actually doing something big here tomorrow night, and we'll probably be going live on Facebook then too. So check me out, Billy Davidson on Facebook. So getting into this video, I understand that sometimes getting pressure washing customers can be challenging. Again, that's not going to stop us from making money, and it's not going to stop us providing for our family. And if you're like myself, I'm a single father, been raising my daughter alone for 7 or 8 years. She just finished high school, first year of college this year. Actually, this was her first week. I'm very proud of her. And it takes a lot of resources to raise children, especially in this day and age, where our dollar doesn't stretch as far as it used to. And it's a real deal. Inflation's real. You drive through Wendy's to grab some lunch. 2 or 3 people, you're looking at 40 or 50 bucks sometimes. You go through some of these other fast food restaurants, Raising Cane's, and I get it. They had to raise their prices too, like everyone else, and that means you need to raise your prices. You need to make more money. And I got a little cheat sheet here that I'm gonna be kind of reading off of, And I really think this is going to help a lot of guys out. Now, if you are in the pressure washing industry and you've been in it, I don't know, 10 years, some of this stuff may not apply to you because you've already dialed in your marketing. You probably got a budget. You probably got a website. You probably got SEO you're pushing out. You probably spending a couple $1,000s a month in marketing. And some of this stuff may not apply to you. It might, but this is really going to be geared for the new guys out there that are really trying to get started and trying to get employees, try to get a staff, try to get an office, try to get software to run the office. As you know, we have to keep up with taxes. God knows that's complicated. And it's really hard to do all of it yourself, but you're going to have to in the first couple of years. And, like in our case, in my case, particularly, I would work 10, 12 hours a day in the summertime, get my kid from the babysitter. It was rough. And also keeping up with my customers, invoicing, all of this stuff, it's tough. So if this could be a shortcut, maybe using some of the tactics that I'm about to talk about could be a shortcut where you can get an extra help. Maybe if you got a wife or a significant other, maybe she can leave her full-time job and be a stay-at-home mother, but also help in the back end of the business administrative, money in, money out, that sort of thing. Because there's a lot that goes into it. That could be a full-time job by itself, no doubt. So that being said, and I may repeat myself a few times because I'm not going to edit none of this out. Again, this is for the guys that's going to be, just starting out. Let's just use a stopping point. Like 5 years into your business, you probably got a lot of this dialed in. You're learning through trial and error. But let's say you're in year 1 or year 2 of your business and you want to shave off a year or two of some of the heartbreaks, the hard times, the trips and stumbles along the way. Some of what I'm about to talk about is going to help you out a lot. And as many as you know, I do run a website, BillyDavidsonVIP.com, that I use some of this training in some of those particular courses. But what I've done, I know not everyone can go run by the training course. I hope you can, because I think it's extremely valuable, and some of this is laid out in more detail with PDF formats and sample contracts and all that stuff to kind of dial in. So let's get this started the way I'm thinking this. Okay, you have your equipment, and let's say you're a guy out there, you got your equipment, whether you're throwing all this stuff in the back of your pickup truck each morning and unloading it because that's the family vehicle. I did that for years, unloading and unloading equipment constantly, back braking. And these were these little 4 gallon per minute machines, 4,000 PSI, a couple pressure hoses, a bunch of water hoses. And all of a sudden, your back of your truck stacked up past the cab. That was me before, with a ladder tied onto it, some kind of way. I did it for years. So that could be you. You also could have a little tow behind trailer with a little buffer tank, a little single axle, maybe a 5.5 gallon per minute machine, a couple surface cleaners, that sort of thing. Or you might be where you have a couple 8 gallon per minute machines, bigger buffer tank, soft wash system. All of this is going to apply to you. Even if you've bought some of the prefab equipment that I see online, that like Cody at Southeast Soft Wash sells, great equipment. You could be in that universe where you already have your equipment, and now you need to go work this equipment to make some money. This is the real deal. Like when the crap hits the fan, at the end of the day, you've got to make money once you get this equipment. And I know how important it is, so this is some of the stuff I want to talk about. So let's say you're one of those group of guys that I just described, and also there's other fleet washers out there and things like that, but we're not going to get into that. Just your normal residential light commercial work. Let's kind of frame it in that manner. Bigger residential houses, smaller shopping malls. Now, if you're out there doing 12-story buildings, this is that you're probably in another tier of the pressure washing industry. But again, residential, light commercial, this is going to apply to you. So first off, your marketing. You have to get these leads coming in. And it's going to be a numbers game. And you've heard this over and over again from myself and other guys in the industry. You have to have a very generous lead mechanism feeding these leads to you. Because at the end of the day, no matter what town you live in, like I live in Hammond, Louisiana, guys. You can Google this. At best, we have 25,000 people that live here. Now, we're a suburb of Baton Rouge and New Orleans, so we can feed off those bigger cities. They're about 45 minutes away to an hour away, depending on traffic. We have some other little small cities around like Ponchatoula, Covington, Slidell, another 45 minutes away. So even if you went and Googled Hammond, Louisiana, you see we got like 25,000 people here. This is where I made my living, like literally for probably 15 years before I started traveling. Like 100%, I was like a 6-mile radius. I've washed freaking every house probably here within 6 to 8 mile radius at some point in my career. I can ride by a house and be like, yep, I washed that one, I washed that one, I washed. And I don't do them no more, but because I'm more into commercial. And a lot of times they change owners and things like that. But that being said, even if you're in a small town, even if you got 10,000 people in your town, or you might be lucky and have 50,000 or 60,000. I was just looking up some statistics. There are hundreds of cities in the United States that's got 50,000 people in it. You can make $500,000 a year pressure washing in a town that's got 50 or 60 or 70,000 people, not including parking lot striping. That's a whole nother thing that I truly wholeheartedly believe you should take a look at very hard, because that could triple your income like within 6 months, like no kidding. But just pressure washing, this is what I would do. If I had to start my business today, this is exactly what I would do. Let's say I had $2,500 or $5,000 on it. And look, I'm not a proponent of going into debt, but let's just say we're getting real here. Let's say I had $5,000 on a credit card. I would get me a little soft wash pump. I would get me a little 4-gallon per minute pressure washer, 20-inch surface cleaner, an X-Jet, some hoses, a couple ladders, and you're there. The rest of the money I would put into yard signs. Guys, I don't know, and I'm not even going to try to pound my fist because I'm going to shake my camera, but I get passionate about it. Yard signs worked 30 years ago. It worked 20 years ago. It worked 10 years ago. And guess what? It works today. Today, if I wanted to, I could go put out 10 yard signs, and I can have Apex and Lamar and Billy and whoever else that works for us, because we've got a Billy that works for us. I could have them running around to where they hate me. They would need a day just off of 10 yard signs, like no cap here, 10 yard signs. If you know how to place them correctly, if you know how to do your yard sign correctly, and you know what, you probably put yard signs out for months, and I did the same thing. Go stick them in the grass. But let me tell you what happened to me real quick. I'm going to get real here for a second. I was working at this little Ford dealership here in Hammond. Like, no joke. Me and Apex put out 5 yard signs out there by the road. Like in series, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one we didn't know what we were doing, really. We're kind of testing it. I turned my back, went and washed some windows, and I maybe 10, 20, 30 minutes passed by. I'd lost track. We went out there to check on our yard signs, and I swear to God, every one of them was gone. Somebody stopped in there, stole them right from underneath my nose. And he's lucky I didn't see him do it, because, you know, that would have been a whole nother deal there, stealing my yard sign. And it was on private property. We were washing the property, and they stealing my yard signs when my back's turned. I got sick of it. So I found out a way, and a lot of you have bought my little training course on BillyDavidsonVIP.com, exactly how I do my yard signs. Obviously, I'm not going to say it on here because everybody would be doing it in Hammond right now. But it works. You do your yard sign a particular way. You put them in particular places where they don't get stolen. You don't get litter and tickets. And the rest will be history. if you went and did 10 yard signs a week, rain, shine, sleet, or snow, no matter if you're tired, no matter if it's raining, no matter if your ankles are hurting, if you're sunburned, whatever the case is, and I've been there before, you drag in after working all week and you look at those yard signs in a corner in your garage and you just curse at them. I am not doing it today. I'm too tired. But you can't be that guy. You got to be extremely disciplined and put out those 10 yard signs a day, exactly the way I teach. And you could cancel a lot of these paid ads that you're running. 10 yard signs. The yard signs are $2 or $3 each, with the H stakes maybe $4 each. But put them out there, 10 a day. 10 a week. 52 weeks out of the year. Do it during the holidays, Christmas, 4th of July, whatever it is, on your birthday. On my birthday, always do them. Don't have no excuse why you're not putting out your yard signs. Just 10 a week. If you really want to get crazy with it, put out 15 a week. And then text me, because a lot of y'all got my phone number. For real, 10 yard signs a week, the way I teach it. And the reason why I'm saying the way I teach it, and I'm not with some big ego here, because I bought hundreds of yard signs before, over the thousands of yard signs over the years, and I might get 1 or 2 calls here and there. It really wasn't fruitful. But the way I do my yard signs now, like I said, if I went and put 10 or 15 out next couple weeks, we'd have to be turning down work, which we kind of do already. But that being said, your yard signs, don't forget this, guys. I know I'm going over and over again. Don't forget your yard signs. If you put out 500 a year, let's say it costs you a couple, $2,000 or $3,000 for these 500 yard signs. If that, you're gonna make probably 150 to 200,000, maybe 300,000 off these yard signs, even if you're in a small town. They're not gonna stay there forever, but they'll stay there for weeks versus the way I used to do it, a day at best. Sometimes way less than that. Like the example I was telling you, yard sign stayed out there like 10 minutes. So anyway, don't forget the yard signs. Do it exactly the way I teach on my little training course. Now, the next thing, Facebook. Okay, I'm not a big fan of Facebook, but it's the world we live in. You have to have a Facebook business page. And what you need to do is title that Facebook business page exactly like your Google business listing is listed, to the letter, to the dotted I, to the comma. Whatever the name of your business is, it needs to be exactly the way it is on Google, the way it is on Facebook. This is going to be important for you to get that continuity of branding and marketing. And in your Facebook, this is like a pro tip that I teach in some of these courses. Videos convert better than pictures. Pictures convert better than just plain text. So what does that mean? If you're going to do a Facebook a post, upload to Facebook, if you can manage to make a video, throw it into some type of software editing, clean it up a little bit. It's not difficult. You might have to learn a little software editing. A lot of these smartphones have it, like iPhones have something called iMovies. Go on YouTube and watch a bunch of tutorials on how to do the video editing. You might say, well, Billy Davidson, that's a lot of trouble. Well, it is a lot of trouble, but it's also a lot of trouble to have your electricity cut off or your vehicle repoed. So pick your trouble you want to fight with. Learn how to do a little bit of editing. It doesn't have to be fancy. But what I want you doing is editing, clean up, maybe a couple edits, jump shots is what we call it. Clean up the audio a little bit. Audio is important. Doesn't have to be perfect, but they at least need to hear what you're talking about. You want to show your face in the video. Facebook loves, look at that, Facebook loves faces. Oh, okay. But yeah, Facebook and the viewers like that first person content. And so I'm gonna give you a little example. Let's say there's a Facebook ad right here. I'd be like, Hey y'all, I'm Billy Davidson here, right here in Hammond, Louisiana. Just want to offer you my services: pressure washing, parking lot striping, window cleaning, roof cleaning, gutter cleaning, concrete cleaning. We can handle all of your cleaning needs. Please call, and then I would list my number. And the reason why I would do that, because when it gets shared, that audio is shared with it. If you just had a video with some music behind it and a text box at the top, whenever that gets shared, the other text is not going to get shared with it. Usually it's just the video itself. Same thing with pictures. If you're going to post a picture, like I said, a lot of these smartphones, you can put at the bottom there, like pressure washing and then your phone number. Make it simple. Make it in white letters. White letters convert better than black letters and red letters and blue letters and all of that. I've kind of learned that through making YouTube videos. But, like making these YouTube videos, getting views on it, also helped me with my marketing. So that's how I'm kind of sharing some of this stuff. Now, let's say, for example, you in Facebook, you got your Facebook business page. Now, who's going to share it? Who's going to look at this? You start out with nobody, populating your followers. So what I would tend to do is try to get some satisfying content first, maybe pressure washing some concrete, maybe you talking over it a little bit. And look, trust me, I don't like to hear my voice on videos either way, but we talking about you providing for yourself and your family. So you just gonna have to get the courage and do it, if that makes sense. So talk about what you're doing, talk about it with confidence, and put that out there on Facebook. Now it's going to be your job to go invite people to like that Facebook business page. And it's not necessarily your private business page where you got pictures of your kids and your dog and your family and your wife and your boat and all that. This is going to be a business Facebook page. You can also promote or boost some of those video reels that you put on that Facebook business page for a few dollars. And you can draw a bubble. I hadn't messed with it in a while, so it could have changed, but you can make a geographic area or a bubble over that geographic area. And you can pick out some parameters, like you want to do it for people over the age of 25 or whatever. Usually I do it like 18 and up, because a lot of people could watch the videos and share it. In addition to that, invite people that are substantial in your community. And what I mean by that, maybe you have a community leader, maybe you have a nonprofit organization in your community, such as a food pantry. Maybe you have one of these buy, sell, and trade organizations. If you can invite them to like that page, and you got to send out a lot of likes, a lot of invites, because not everybody's going to turn around and like it or follow it. Also, elected officials is real important. City council members, pastors of the community, spiritual leaders in the community. Any of these people that could be have a lot of followers, if that makes sense, and you want to post things into that Facebook that's going to give value to someone. Let's say you demonstrating an easier way to clean a window, or an easier way to clean some bricks on a patio, offering some type of substantial value to them watching that video, if that makes sense. Maybe an easier way to clean out gutters, or a safety tip. We've done safety tips on cleaning out gutters. Maybe some information about removing leaves and debris off of roofs. I've made tens of thousands of dollars over the years, maybe even more than that, getting a blower and blowing off leaves off of people's roofs because they didn't want to climb up there. You could talk about that. But at any rate, put some of these videos into Facebook. Invite people to like, share, and follow that. Make sure you talk in the video. If you're very uncomfortable about talking, perhaps do some pictures with an embedded text inside of the picture. in case that picture gets shared, that information or that data will be shared with that picture. If you just do a text box at the top and they share just a picture, I know I'm repeating myself, but you get it. So that being said, we talked about yard signs. We have talked about Facebook. Now also Google My Business Listing has been a mess for the last few years. You may have to spend a few $100s to get a company to kind of help you walk through that and get that going. It's worth it. Google My Business Listing is not as powerful as it used to be. So thinking about that, back 7 or 8 years ago, that was the thing. But now you got Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. So get on those platforms, even TikTok, YouTube here. Post some videos here on YouTube as well. A lot of this is what it's doing. It's kind of funneling down those leads to you. Obviously Google and YouTube are owned. So if you Googled Billy Davidson pressure washing Hammond, Louisiana, or pressure washing Hammond, Louisiana, you're going to see some of my YouTube videos pop up in the search results on Google. And some of these videos convert for very high paying customers. We've had customers tell us, well, we see that you teach it, so we know you're probably, pretty good at what you do. And I kind of feel like I am, 30 years in it. So think about those things. And I'm gonna tell you a couple things that doesn't work, and then I'm gonna tell you a couple more things that will work. A couple things that doesn't not work, that have not had any luck with it, is this door-to-door stuff. And God knows I've worn out shoes going door to door. And I would probably knock on 100 or 200 200 doors, and it's exhausting. By the time you knock on 50 of them, you're knocking on that 51st door, and you look like death warmed over, especially out in this heat. Ain't nobody gonna buy from you then. But I've knocked on 100, 200 doors, and I might get 2 or 3 people that really want an estimate, and then one of those convert. Now, look, if you're starving and that's all you got to do, go for it. But you would be better off putting that time and effort into doing some Facebook posts, doing your yard signs, stuff like that. A couple other things I wouldn't do: flyers on windshields. It's never worked out really for me. Back in the day, we would stick flyers on people's windshields, like at Lowe's and Home Depot and hardware stores, and I would get yelled at. The store managers would scream. The customers would come out and see a flyer on their windshield and throw a fit. Never really, I put out thousands of them. I would even get some of my friends together. Like, we would get all these flyers and cutting them half pages and trying to save money. And we would go put them out on windshield wipers, and then the security guard would come out, tell us, if you don't take all those off, we call in the police out here. So we're going back, and how embarrassing that is. After you put all these flyers out under the windshield wiper, you're picking them all up. It's actually embarrassing to think back at it. But I didn't have no one to do. This is before YouTube came along, so I didn't have no one to really tell me to don't do that. So I was just trying everything. So that really doesn't work. Door to door doesn't work. Like I said, putting out flyers on under windshield wipers doesn't work. Another thing that never did work was sticking flyers on people's mailboxes, the little rock bags. I think I read somewhere where you'd have to do like 1,000 rock bags to get like 2 calls off of it. And then what's your conversion rate? If it's 50-50, you get one job off of it. If y'all not familiar with rock bags, basically they take a tiny piece of paper, put it in a Ziploc bag with a couple rocks in it, and you ride around just tossing them in people's driveway. That's a good way to get cursed out for sure. And you can ask me how I know about that later. We had a guy chase us down and tore our mirror off our truck. And what am I going to do? Like, he was like seriously running down the street, screaming at us. And we was kind of freaking out. We didn't know what was going on. He grabbed our mirror on the truck and just cracked. So that didn't work out, the rock bags. And I did a bunch of that too. I even did some after that incident. There's no way you can put stuff in people's mailbox. I'm going to tell you that right now. That is a huge no-no. And you can ask me how I know about that too. I was like 19 years old, sticking flyers in people's mailboxes, and don't do that. That is not the thing to do. If you were going to do some type of mailing, you could do that every door direct mailing stuff. It's quite expensive, but it is somewhat effective. But really, you're better off going back to your yard signs in your Facebook post. Google My Business. You'd be better off putting the money there. You'd also do pretty good with some paid ads like through Nextdoor. Also, almost forgot this, LinkedIn. If you don't have a LinkedIn account, like a paid account, get one. Populate all of that with your information. That's going to be good to get some leads coming in. And not either. And look, I'm going to tell you, a lot of this digital marketing is not going to be a magic wand to get rich off of. It's going to take several of them. It's going to take Google My Business. It's going to take LinkedIn. It's going to take Facebook. It's going to take putting videos on YouTube. It's going to take a lot of that. You get 2 or 3 leads each month that are paying off of each platform, and now you have your whole month populated and scheduled out. So it takes a lot of work, especially in the beginning. Now, look, once you get into the industry where basically where I'm at now, maybe you can have someone full staff or your wife or someone to do this for you and keep that revenue coming in, because you're going to be out busy working, running a crew, going from job to job, bidding the jobs and stuff. So think about stuff like that. A couple other things that I found that didn't work was website ads, billboard ads. Like a website ad, let's say if you have a local dealership in your community, whether it's Ford or GMC or Toyota or something, you can actually go to their webmaster, usually someone at the dealership, and run a little banner ad on there for a few $100s a month. Now, look, I tried this years ago and it didn't work. It may now, I don't know, but I doubt it works very well. I would just keep going back to the yard signs. Billboards, we've had billboards that were giant. I mean, with picture of me on it holding a pressure washer, paid mega money to be on that billboard. This was many moons ago, like 18, 19, 20 years ago. This is long before my daughter was born. I'm just trying to think back some of the dates. That didn't work too well. Things like that. Now, what also works really good is email marketing. I teach this in the All Pro Parking Lot Striping course at a little bit deeper. But I'll kind of give you a rundown. Basically, you send out emails to potential customers in your area. It's painstakingly slow. I get it. Guys say, hey, it took me an hour to send out 20 emails. I totally understand it. I used to hate doing it. I got somebody who does it now for me. She likes doing it. My thing is out there spraying SH. So I would sit down at my computer and plug out these emails for 2 hours or an hour at a time. But it really did work. Like, for real, I would send out, let's say if I send out 25 emails, I would damn sure get 3 or 4 solid jobs off of that. And, some of those jobs might be $4, $5, $6, $7, $800. And if it was for striping, now we talking about big money. It would be like $4,000 or $5,000, because usually striping jobs like 10 times as much as more than pressure washing. So email marketing, I have an email marketing template in my dumpster pad training course, the All Pro Parking Lot Striping course. So, if you're not into parking lot striping, go check out our dumpster pad training course on BillyDavidsonVIP.com. You get an email template, sample contract too as well. But email marketing is good. Now, what doesn't work is these prepaid email lists where you get 5,000 email lists for $50 or something. A lot of those never were very fruitful. You would get so many returns, and it's just so convoluted way I had to work with it. There may be some software out there now that makes it easier. If you did some research and you found, okay, I can get 10,000 emails and, It's an easier process. Like I said, I don't do a whole lot of that. I have an assistant that does it, but and I don't know exactly how she's doing it. I just know that she does it. But email marketing with an email template that I created. Now, my email templates were simple and direct to the point. You basically want to say who you are and what you offer, and an opportunity for them to call, text, or email. Give them all opportunities. Not everybody wants to talk on the phone. Not everybody wants to send a text message, and not everybody wants to send an email. So you got 3 ways of them to communicate with you in any of those manners. So if you're just taking phone calls, some people don't like to talk on the phone. I'm finding that more and more as I get older in my business, that some of the newer CEOs and property managers, they just want to fire off a text or an email. They don't want to sit on the phone. They don't really want to do a lot of face-to-face meeting. I get it. They're probably busy, so that's my Chihuahua there. Molly, you all right? She always walks around. Like I said, she carries one leg, but yeah, email marketing is really, really powerful. Most of the time when someone calls me and says, hey, I can't get work, that is the first thing I recommend to them, is doing email marketing. Of course, if they're a VIP student, we direct them to our email marketing template, which you can basically copy and paste, but put your own information in it. You're not going to put Davidson pressure washing in there, but, so that being said, email marketing, along with your Facebook, along with Google My Business, along with making a couple YouTube videos, along with putting things in Facebook like we talk about, Google My Business, yard signs. So there again, we got 5 or 6 fishing lines. Now we got a trout line basically sitting out there with 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 hooks on it versus one little fishing line out there. So that's an analogy I use. And you got different forms of bait on each fishing line. It's not like 7 or 8 fishing lines have chicken liver on each one. We got different baits. So that's like in email marketing is a whole different bait than doing a Facebook video, if you can get my point. So those are the kind of ways you want to draw in some extra leads. And the name of the game is to get maybe 15 or 20 calls a week. And this is how it's going to go. It's going to be a bit of a breakdown. Let me see, this video is getting crazy long. But we'll call it 15 calls just to make it easy math. You get 15 calls. Half of those are going to be BS calls, okay? I'm not going to lie to you. They're going to be like, hey, we need some garbage cans washed. Someone spilt something in our driveway. And you're more than welcome to go deal with them. But once you got a crew and all of that going on, you can't deal with some of that stuff. But let's say 7 or 8 of those out of that 15 calls is going to be legit calls that, yes, you need to go look at. You need to talk to these people. You need to put some time and effort into it. So this is the breakdown. You got 7 or 8 calls a week that's coming in that's rock solid leads. Now, you go out and you spend some time bidding it. Let's say you do a Monday afternoon and a Tuesday afternoon, and you go bid these 7 or 8 jobs, and you really try to close them. Now, how many of those are you going to convert? Myself, about 40 or 50% of them. So now that gives us 3 to 4 jobs a week that I'm converting on. And let's say these jobs are an average of $1,000 a ticket, which is usually kind of a low ticket with some of the leads I deal with. But let's say in your case, it's $750 a ticket and you close in 4 of those. So now you're looking at around at $2,800 to $3,000 a week revenue. What could you do with that? You can definitely have yourself and a helper with insurance, with equipment, on $3,000 a week. And let's say you get lucky some weeks and you close a 5th one, or either you have 7 or 8 dumpster pads to go clean along with those 4 leads that you converted. Let's say you had a little striping job to go do that Sunday afternoon that paid $1,100, $1,200, $1,300, something that would take like an hour. Let's say you had a Sonic to go clean So now you see where we're starting to build a bulletproof business, where as far as you got this revenue coming in, and the revenue coming in that's predictable, like cleaning dumpster pads, cleaning Sonics, or striping parking lots. That's going to be a predictable money that you can budget out, forecast out 2, 3, 4 months down the road and say, okay, yes, I got this money coming in each month. If I'm going to buy a piece of equipment on time, or on credit, if you need to get job supplies and you paying like that on a net 30, or if you're putting your expenses on a credit card or something, you can start to project them out. Now, some of these jobs are not fun to do. Like, straight up, I'm gonna tell you, cleaning a dumpster pad is not. I would much rather go bowling. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot more fun things to do than clean a dumpster pad. But like I said before, it's not fun to have to lay somebody off. It's not fun to have to patch up an old machine and try to make it through the day with it. So pick your poison. Or you can go out there and clean some dumpster pads and have that extra revenue that you can depend on, so you can have a good equipment and keep a helper, a full-time helper, that's where you can pay him good and he can support his family off of it pretty much. Are you gonna go clean a Sonic late one night and they hard to clean, but you make good money? Are you gonna do that? Or are you gonna just rather be struggling with your budget every week or every month and not having enough work for this dude that's working for you, and you love this dude to death, he's like family, but you tell him, hey, I can't have you come out today or tonight because there's not enough money in the budget to pay you this week. That's some hard conversations to have, and you deserve better than that. So I've always picked a poison, go out there and get the courage to go do my jobs and get them. Like I said, they're not fun. Sometimes they're hard. Sometimes I'm tired. I'd rather be sitting at home, sitting in front of a TV. But I go do my 5 or 6 dumpster pads, and I come home, get the invoices out. Now I got that money coming in. Now I can project out. Okay, now I can use my employee all next week. Now what that does, it kind of frees me up. I can get him set up on cleaning some stuff, because of my dumpster pads is paying for his salary plus some. So I can get him started up on maybe something simple, cleaning some sidewalks, where he ain't gonna, it's not gonna be hard to mess anything up, where I can run around the neighborhood or run around the industrial complex talking to some other GMs and getting some more work. Because you have to get off that wand. You have to get off from behind that surface cleaner or that soft wash wand to keep the business going. If you behind that surface cleaner every hour of every day, how can you also have the time to go home and send out the emails and do the marketing and do the face-to-face meetings? So some of this all kind of plays into itself, if that makes sense. Now, is it going to be easy? Absolutely not. Just straight up, it's not going to be easy. If it was, everybody would be doing it. Everybody would have a brand new Mercedes in the garage. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be difficult. If you want a challenge, this is it. This will be a challenge. This will test your steel, as they say. If you're married, you need, talk to your significant other and say, hey, this is going to be tough, but I love you and I'm doing it for us. And make that very clear to them up front. That's one mistake I made, by the way. So converse, communicate to your significant other. Say, look, tell your kids, hey, dad's doing something very difficult, so you don't have to later. And I heard this saying years ago. This guy told me, he said, I cleaned out the crap ditches so my kid wouldn't have to. I worked out in the rain, lightning popping all around your head, so my daughter don't have to. I worked on my hands and knees, painting parking lines in temperatures that felt like there was 900 degrees outside, so my daughter don't have to. And you need to communicate that with your family if you got a family. And if you don't have a family, do it for yourself. Say, okay, I'm doing this now as a young person, so I don't have to do this when I'm 40 or 43 or 53, or 63. you don't want to be on your hands and knees past 40 years old. Trust me. So do it. You know, you're doing these tough things now so you don't have to do them later, or so your family can have more now. And I'm about to tell you something that I always find funny. But you're doing these things now for your future, and you're going to invest in yourself, bet on yourself. I was telling this student the other day, he did a parking lot striping job, and he was gone. Look, now this guy's a beast. He slept in his truck, and I'm not recommending all this. And I used to do this the same thing. I would work like 7 or 8 hours, literally fall asleep, like lay down in my truck, fall asleep. I'd have my equipment right there by the door. That way, somebody wouldn't come up there and roll off with it. But I dozed off for 20, 30 minutes, wake up. I didn't know where the hell I was at first, and get out there and stripe again. So this guy worked like a 3-day, basically turnaround, slept in his truck. They went out of town. He was kind of on a low budget. But in those 3 days, he profited $18,000 and some change. It might have been $19,000 and some change in those 3 days. He profited that, and after paying everything, that was his net profit, not gross, net. And come home, he slept for a day. He said he got in. His wife knew where he was, and all that. He slept for like a whole day. He said he slept for like 11 or 12 hours because he was just fried. When he woke up, they had they'd already been paid off the job, and he told his wife, he said, "Hey, you had to go pick the kids up from school." So he had signed the back of the check, told her to go deposit it, and when she turned the check over and looked at it, she was just blown away. So she realized at that point why he was doing what he was doing, why he was making the hard decisions, doing the tough things. So, there's a lot to think about there. I know this video is going very long. I don't even know how long it's been. But look, it's not going to be easy. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be challenging. If you're one of my students, I'll be here for you. You can, anyone in the comment section, you let them know. If I can get to you, I will. I got a bunch of students, but there's times I wake up 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and it's, to help somebody that's one of our students in, whether they broke down on a job with a pressure washer or a striping machine. I'm not saying I can fix it all over the phone, but there's a lot of things that, I've seen it all out there. So, like I said, it's not going to be easy. If you want to rewind this, if you want to share this video, please do it. I would say watch it again, take some notes, visit my website, BillyDavidsonVIP.com. And before I let you go, I will make some money if you buy a training course. I'll make some, not all of it goes to me, but I'll make some. And what that does, that allows me to be available to talk on the phone to some of my students, because I only got so many hours in a day myself. And, it just allows me to keep things going around here. So that being said, guys, I wish you all the best of luck. Please if you hadn't subscribed yet, please do. That lets me know that people are watching the videos. Leave a comment if you have any questions that need to be answered. Leave a comment. I also have a very exciting thing coming up that we're going to be offering some of our people out here that watch our videos. It's going to be very, very helpful. Been praying about it for 6 or 7 months, and just asking the Lord for an answer. I don't know if you guys pray a lot, but I believe sometimes you don't know you have to turn to the guy upstairs, because, only he knows what's good. But I've been praying about it, and it didn't look like it was going to happen. So I'm not going to really say what it is now, but it won't be long. I mean, we got a team of people working on this right now, like 10 people working on it behind the scenes. We're going to make it happen. It's going to be something really special. So I don't want to say too much until I get there, because I'm ready to say it now. But I was just told right before I started this video, we're not ready to to talk about it just yet, but it's going to be amazing. I'm excited about it. Like I said, I prayed about it for months and months and months. I asked God to open up a time slot for me to be able to do this, and didn't look like it was going to happen. I kind of didn't quite give up on it, but yeah, it was close. And then all of a sudden, oh man, it's I'm gonna get goosebumps, choked up over it. I believe in praying for what God wants you to do in His will, obviously, and He'll make it happen if you go to Him with a genuine heart. That's what it's all about. So, again, we're gonna be talking about that really soon. It actually may be in the next few days. That we're just making sure all the loose ends are tied up. In the meantime, go visit our website, BillyDavidsonVIP.com. That's going to be our main website for our training and for you to get the information you need and the experience you need. And, if you trust me on this one. Some of that information in there, obviously, I hadn't put out here on YouTube because it would shut my business down here locally. And I wouldn't have been compensated for it. And I'm going to be honest with you, what I've been training on BillyDavidsonVIP.com has definitely, I've lost some contracts over it. And these are my students, I used to train guys in martial arts for years. And one of the biggest achievements is when you train a student and they come back and whip your ass in one day. So I've had my ass handed to me a couple of times. Out here from some of my students, and here locally. So obviously I got to be compensated for it. But anyway, I know in some industries people will never tell you the do's and don'ts. But I figure it's time for me to start paying this forward, passing on this information. I'll be 50 this year, so I'm not gonna say I'm gonna do this for the rest of my life, but I think I got another good 5 or 10 years in it. I actually love doing it. So who knows? I'll probably do it for the rest of my life. Even if I got to sit on a bucket and bark out orders when I'm like 95, I love parking lot striping and pressure washing. I always will. Anyway, guys, I love y'all. I'm Billy Davidson, BillyDavidsonVIP.com right here in Hammond, Louisiana. Thank you all for coming into my kitchen, sitting at my kitchen table right here. And I hope to see you all in the next video. I'm not even going to edit this finger push out when I turn this off. So y'all have a good night. God bless.